Okay. Let's go into core equation. You should be seeing 23 question for this chapter. Okay, let's try to solve at least 10 questions. Then we go for a short break. Then after that, we continue. 10 or 11 questions. List at least 8 personal characteristics or skill a project manager should possess to successfully in managing a project team and achieving project objective. Please sign the attendance. Okay. What are the qualities that as responsible? Try to think out or the one that you learn in your moral in your pendidikan moral, or the nilai muni all you put here. Okay. What else? Responsibility. Okay. Yeah. Time management. And then what else? What else? What is a project manager? What his job? Think of his job and then try to coordinate how. Add an adjective to that verb. What? It can be coordinate badly, or it can be what? Good coordination skill. What else? Good communication. What else? What is the main job? What is the relationship between the project manager and the functional manager? What should I mean in a normal setting, communicate. Okay, communicate. They say okay. Another one is the responsibility of a project manager. What is that? Okay. How you define success? I mean, you see success here, right? You cannot use the word success anymore. Okay. Okay. So you need to know your customer requirement. So you need to understand the project technology needed or resources needed. Okay. You able to evaluate risk, for example. Okay. Honesty and integrity. Honesty and integrity is important because why you are actually managing people. Yes. On the textbook, yes, your job as a project manager, you manage project. But most of the time, who you're dealing with is human, right? So you need to build a good relationship with the functional manager. And also the customer. So, but normally the project manager, they rarely direct contact with the customers because that one is they will ask the sales department to go ahead deal with the customer. But they just want to make sure the what the customer want is delivered. Okay. And then we learn about what decision, right? So what do you think as a good project manager should have? Decisive. Okay, decisive means decision-making ability. Decision-making ability. So he should able to make decision. What are the 4 types of decision? You still can able to recall? 4 types of decision. 4 types of decision. Cannot use the word go lah. Proceed. Proceed what? One, proceed with changes. The first one, with some means second one already. Hold, the third one. The third one is hold and request for more information. The first one is what? Proceed with customer requirement or without changes. The first one, first one means okay, whatever you plan, you just do. Means no changes. The first one, no changes. Second one, proceed. Third one, hold but request for more information. The last one is a difficult decision. Last one is a cancel or not proceed. Okay, fourth one, this one is a very popular question. So need to good in planning as a project manager, planning. This one extra lah. Energy and stamina. Energy and stamina because you need to communicate a lot. You need to commute a lot. Business management competence. Business management competence. Why? You as a project manager, actually your position is just temporary. And once you complete the project, you will be assessed and reviewed, and high changes, you will be promoted to a management level. Okay. So you need to show your business management competence during the project period. Okay. All right. So just now you mentioned communication. You can put in understand personal problems, right? And so on. Okay. Able to evaluate risk and uncertainty also can. Okay. So if you put like things that not friendly or in the business environment, then it is not the correct answer or not appropriate. For example, if you put kindness is not a characteristic that needed in the project management. Right? Kindness, it won't help the achievement of projects. Okay, so project success, we only deal with time, cost, and scope. Okay, these three things. Project success, time, cost means money, and scope, the requirement. Okay, these three. Okay. Number two, project manager is usually selected and assigned to a project by the who? Who assign this one? Who appoint the project manager? What do you think? Huh? Sponsor? What else? Sponsor? Sponsor is one. Board is belonging to the executive management. Okay, CEO, board, they are all the executive management. Okay, sponsor or project or executive or executive management. All right, and you can bracket CEO. The one I have here is a project executive, but if you put important is the executive management, so on. Okay. Then if you want to refine the answer, you can bracket CEO, general manager. Okay. Right. Okay. Number three, what characteristics and personal trait would be desired to you when selecting your project team? List at least 6 or trend or traits or characteristics. This one is when you're selecting your project team. Means you when you set up your project manager office, PMO. So if you are the project manager, who then your boss or your sponsor will ask you, hey, what are the characteristics when you choose your team member? Responsible, loyalty to what? To you. Okay. So when you talk about loyalty, you know that we have a three type of organization chart, right? Traditional one, matrix, and hybrid, right? So each one of you have a different loyalty one. So it will be a bit difficult if you use loyalty, unless the question asks you about the specific type of organization chart. Okay. Ethical. You can ethical. Honesty, like just now, right? What else? Actually, those under you is who? Not under lah, but you work with. You as a project manager, you work with who? Functional manager. So functional manager, they are good in what? Okay, they actually the expert in their field, right? So you have to look for the technical ability and competence. Means the expertise. It depends on your project, so this is your team member, so you have to choose the correct talent, the correct department, and so on. Okay. So that on the technical ability and competence. Then also you want to look for those that willing to work with other one. Means team player. This. Because you don't want to recruit this person already, then always argue with other team member. Then you headache already. Okay. Willingness to accept changes also important. So you try to look for a member who is able to accept changes, because you know that when you manage projects, changes are going to happen, right? So some of the old staff, maybe they are so used to the way, so sometimes they don't listen to the young project manager. So that it will be a problem also. But those old people nowadays, they are quite open-minded, especially those really expert one. They really very humble. Yeah. So if you work in the industry, you go for those sifu, those really senior one. They really humble. You don't know, you cannot spot him in the factory one. I mean, you thought that he's a cleaner or what, but actually he's an expert in that area. All right. Another one is the reliability or accountability. Means that you can trust this person, right? You don't need to like always follow up, right? He will update you. So accuracy is important, right? Accuracy, because if you're not accurate now, because why you did when you work with the project functional manager, you get input from them. The input from them is help you to do planning. So if you give you the wrong data, then your planning is wrong. So that is accuracy. So that is what all the character all the character. Okay. Okay. You can put good time management also can. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, you can refer to the question one also. You can refer to question one also. Actually, almost the same. But for the third question, you are more focused in the term of your team and not project manager. Okay. So your team they are the expertise who are doing their jobs, who are doing the experts jobs. Means finance, they do finance. Engineering, R&D, they do all the design. Fabrication or manufacturing, they do the prototyping for you. Okay. All right. Number four. Do you get a table, right? You get a table for question 4, right? So Question 4, what problem obstacle may be encountered by the project manager when attempting to staff uh, his or her project team? Okay, problem obstacles may be faced by the project manager when we do recruiting for his PMO or project manager office. Review the list of the problems and issues that may be experienced when you do recruiting for the projects, and provide recommendation to solve the issues. Consider the projects or you are currently assigned to manage, what issue you have encountered, what were the root cause, and how would you respond to this issue. So basically, it asks you what are the obstacles and then how you solve it. I think this one, we've seen this one of the kinds of pattern in chapter 3 before. Okay, so you have this table. Okay, so it's open-ended as long as you're able to answer the solution and then look for the keyword and then give the keyword solution. So for example, you have the issue on the left and then recommend action. Right? So for your tasks, might be seeing similar like this. Be similar, then you give me the answer. Okay. So your test is like only 10%. So I won't ask you very hard question. Right? Okay, so for the first one, critical resources may not be available when needed. So recommended action, the first one already give you already. You do outsourcing, you find alternate source, you negotiate availability of a functional manager. So this one resources here, you try to think resources. It can be talent, it can be expertise, it can be machining, machine, it can be chemical, raw material, and so on. So you elaborate how you solve that one. Okay. Now the second one, functional and technical support groups are not cooperating. This one usually will face one. Okay. Functional and technical support group are not cooperating with the request for the resources. Mean they fight for resources. Have a talk. Okay. Now, what do you think we have in the 3 types of organization chart, right? What do you think this one will normally appear? Previously, I think we discussed about this one. Traditional or matrix? Traditional one, they have limited resources. If you look traditional one, because they already assigned to the pillar, the exact functional manager. But the project based is they will give priority. It depends on this one project manager. But the hybrid one, matrix one, you see there's an overcross of the command, especially for the functional and also the project manager, and then the resources is sum up in the middle. Okay, if you look the matrix one, so this one, not cooperating request for this one. What do? Communicate, okay, communicate. Okay, so this one a lot, so this one, okay, this one is the first one. So you do this one, not cooperating with the request of the resources. So most of the time is because of the if you have a planner department, planner is separated from your production. Planner, they do procurement, they buy things before the production run. So if the planner or planning department, they don't do their job well, production cannot run. Okay, so what you do is that you do effective scheduling, you identify a backup source. So previously, when in my first job as a project engineer, one of my skill polish up that time is my CEO always trained me to look for backups. Although yes, this customer want this let's say aluminium certain grade, we will source for supply vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3. in our list, we have vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3. So vendor 1 is our preferred one. So if vendor 1 he out of stock, then we find vendor 2 and vendor 3. Okay. So for backups, and then escalated. So this one, sometimes resources here also it means money. So who do you talk to? You talk to sponsor. Means you communicate with sponsor, or escalate. Escalate means you communicate vertically. Communication in the project management, there are only two ways, vertical and horizontal. Vertical means you talk to above or below. But horizontal means to the peer, to the same level. Right? Negotiate. If you cannot budget, also no budget, then what you do? You need to negotiate with the functional managers, because they are the one who manage the resources. Okay. So the first one. So this one is the resources. Second one, technical support. This one, communicate lah. Communicate. Your answer. Sorry, this first one is the first one. The second one is the answer for the second one. If you have quarreling, fighting for resources, you just work on the relationship and communicate well. Communicate. This is just a textbook elaboration. Okay. You meet with the functional group, develop relationship, and then explain the needs, and so on. If you just use the word communicate, also can. Okay, communicate with the functional group. Okay, so when you write answer for project management module, you use, for example, verb, right? Communicate. Then try to continue with who, or the object. Communicate with who. Don't like write communicate then blank. Okay, or if you would communicate effectively, or you can add adjective you want. The third one, assign team member, assign already. Assigned team member are not motivated, are considered poor performer. How do you solve? This is a human problem. If you think that, oh, you recruit this one during interview, or very good, but after a while you find that this team member like demotivated already, or you did not perform as this one. Bracket means actually they perform. It's just that maybe your team is so good, then this person will become like not performing. Actually he's performing, but your team maybe is very good, but it's like level out the good person. How do you do? What do you do? How you motivate? Okay, if you see the question use a certain word, you cannot use back the word already. If you use back, it means you don't have the thinking activity. Train him, okay. Again, you should see this one actually is a academic poor performance. Actually, they are good, it's just that they're not performing. Yeah. So give trainings. Okay, some of the solution. What else? Incentive, yeah, is one of the things. What else? What else you can do? Team building. What is the purpose of team building? It's not the team. It's not a corporation problem. So. It's just that they are not excited to do your job. Okay. So what you can do, you meet with them lah. You have individual meetings, set objective. Sometimes you do not tell the exact expectation, so they just do what they think, and the one they think do not meet your expectation, then that is the issue come from. That's why the word poor performance here, the bracket, poor performance. So it means that they do not achieve what your expectation. So it's either they don't understand or you do not communicate. So you meet with them, you set a clear expectation and objective. Then maybe the one that you assign them is not what they're good at. You assign an engineer to do finance, cannot. Okay, or a machine expert, you ask him to do drawing, cannot. Right? So maybe your work assignment do not match the job, so you align and realign, rearrange their work match with their skill, and then this is just an elaboration, just to focus on the contribution. So right, or you celebrate the small achievement also can. Okay, so this is more on handling people, how you handling people, right? Of course, when you start up your first job, maybe you are so lucky you're promoted as you are being assigned as a project engineer first. Although the word engineer, you might be promoted to management level. So when you are startup young, one good thing is that you have the knowledge, you have a degree. You are good in technical. So what you do is you build relationship with them, right? So the fastest way is that you go for lunch then with your colleagues, build relationship. Then you know, or actually within this group, what is the characteristic of your teams? And then who normally there's an alpha inside the company. So normally there will be one person who is leading the whole conversation and so on. And then certain people, they are good in something, and some people, they don't tell you they are good talent, because in the real world, if you expose too much, you will be doing more things. Okay. All right. Then the next one, multiple projects result in resources retention. So this one same like the first one, but this one is because of multiple projects. So same lah. When you have this one, multiple, what the keyword looking for is prioritization. Prioritization means you give priorities. Okay, give priorities. So if you compare the first one, critical resources may not available when needed. This one is you have a poor planning here. You have a unclear objective. You have unclear plannings, management, resources planning, and so on. But this one is multiple projects. So you prioritize. You prioritize. Okay, the last two, not last two. Functional manager unwilling to release high quality resources. This one is they hold the talent. How do you work with this issue? Say, oh, cannot. This guy, I need him in my department. He's so busy, cannot assign him to do. What do you do if you have this problem? Okay, so what is the answer? No, this one is qualified resource, highly qualified resources. Huh? Yes. He is not willing to loan his toy or his machine or his so how here do not say lah, it's just that how you solve this problem. If you jump level, can solve, but again, what is your relationship between project manager and functional manager? What is the recommendation between these two? Must have good relationship. The keyword here actually is the relationship. You build relationship. You build relationship. And you imagine if you jump level, if in this case you go and tell your boss, hey, this guy don't lend me my tools. He actually broke the relationship. No, you have to understand. Your project manager position is temporary. And maybe you're going to work with project B, project C. And you still need to meet with this person and again. You try to imagine project, first project already, you already tell your boss, hey, this guy cannot do, don't want to lend my things, loan me his things, or yeah, don't want to release all this. You already make complaint to your boss or not? So first step already wrong already. You can in the industry, you try not to backstab people. You backstab people, that's it lah. Gone. I mean, you'll be in your own island lah. Okay, so don't jump steps unless you really decide, okay, I'm not going to work with this guy forever. Then you go lah. Unless like other project manager also cannot work with this guy, then you team up lah. You team up, go and tell the sponsor lah. Okay. But if you are the only one who this functional manager don't want to work with you, then you have to work with. Okay, maybe he's have some good friends that you, let's say you have a good friend with other project manager, and they are good friend. So what you can do is that you talk to your other colleagues, then ask this colleague to talk to this guy. Maybe he misunderstand you, but he don't want to tell you. So you solve lah. Then you find out, hey, actually that day maybe you pinjam his pen, you forget to return. Maybe the pen is the wedding anniversary things, and then for you it's like normal pen. You forget to return. Then the emotional damage one. Okay. Okay. So this one you explain, you negotiate lah. This one relationship. So this one you communicate, build relationship, and then you explain, make them understand. You negotiate the time frame needed lah. Okay. So you try to understand this one. Another word you can add in, but this is just a guideline. You can add in one, not that you only have two answers. No, you can add in more. For example, you try to understand what is the issue or challenges faced by the functional manager. Okay, you try to understand why is the reason behind. Maybe because of the time frame, you need to use that machine for other projects. Okay. Yeah, he's unwilling there's a reason why unwilling Sometimes if you are let's say you are the functional manager who are unwilling, sometimes because of machine broke, you are the aspect area, you're very paiseh to say that actually your machine broke down. Under your care, it should not broke down. But who knows, yesterday one operator or one intern come in and wrongly press one button, the things it happened without your supervision, so actually it's your responsibility. Then you no face to say. So actually you try to hidden something. So you try to understand what is the situation, then you solve it. Okay, lack of resources with subject matter expert. Lack of resources with subject matter expert, this one. You as a project manager, what do you do? What do you do? Lack of resources with subject matter expert means you have a lack of talent. What do you do? Do you think you still have time for training? Okay. Okay, you can outsource or subcontract lah. Can outsource or subcontract. Training, not a long one, just a refresher course, 1 week course, something. Crash course, they call it. Hire additional resources, this one. Right? This one you get more resources. Okay. Hired part-timers. Okay. Resources reluctant to accept project assignment due to temporal nature of projects. This one start and end. So this one your resources reluctant to accept project assignment due to temporary nature of project. This one is more on the status. But some staff, they don't like to do temporary work one. They want to do long-term confirm jobs. So what do? If your resources got problems? Again, you back to the question. You communicate with, you as a project manager, you communicate with functional manager. Functional manager, what they do? They manage resources. Okay. So if the resources reluctant to do, you talk to the functional manager lah. Okay, because all these resources under project functional managers. As long as you deal with all the manager, your functional manager, then your job become easier already. You don't talk to the technician, you don't talk to the accountant, you don't talk to the salesperson there, you talk to the manager. Okay. The first one, in my opinion, you talk to the functional manager first. You negotiate. Sometimes you give bonus, you give trainings for other position and so on. Okay. Means you have a reward system. Okay, you join this project, although it's temporary, but it will count in your KPI, for example. Yeah, reward after the completion, because the issue here is that your resources, bo chap one, reluctant to accept projects assignment. Means you ask him to do things, he very late give you report, then always don't know one. Let me check, and then no news. Okay. So this one is like for those people, maybe they lack of motivation, or they do not see that what is the value of doing it. So what you do is that you put in the value, for example, bonus, reward, KPI, when the job you complete and so on. So if really they cannot already, then you can propose for relocate lah. You relocate after the project completion and so on. Okay, performance appraisal remain responsibility of the functional manager. So this one is more on HR lah. So this one, performance appraisal remain responsibility of functional manager. Means functional manager have more say compared to you. Then in this case, what you can do, to me, this is not a big problem. It's just that on the company policies or the way you deal with staff. So what you do is that you negotiate so that you can have a joint performance appraisal. Means you're able to give KPIs review for the resources that you loan from the functional manager. Why? Because you imagine you are the staff under functional manager and you work for the projects. You actually still reporting to the functional managers. And in one case, you might only follow direction from your boss, from your functional managers. But what happens if your company use the project organization chart? Means the project manager take charge. Then you say, hey, finally, in the org chart, normal org chart, without the project, I still report to my functional manager. So what can do to have a more command or authority? You negotiate so that you're able to join the appraisal as a project manager. Okay. Resources assigned to multiple projects is still the same like the previous one, but here is multiple projects. So if you see multiple projects linked to prioritization, priority priority. You cannot get them to commit sufficient time to your project. So this one is This one you give priority and you negotiate with the functional managers. Still back to the negotiation or communication with the functional managers. As long as you see there's anything related to resources, you talk to the functional manager. Okay, can nothing complex in the project management one. You only need to know who you deal with, then you find a keyword to solve it. Okay, resources prefer to perform some of the work according to your own way doing rather than according to the project plan. This one is like, especially those stubborn stuff that they are so good in a certain area, they don't want to listen to you. So this one, okay, so there's a need to communicate the expectation. Okay, you need to communicate the expectation. My way is that I straight away I communicate with the functional manager, and then if the worker cannot, I will just force it to perform according to plan through functional managers. This is a bit harsh lah, but my way are through functional managers. Okay, I try to avoid all conflicts with the those unit that below functional managers. Yeah. Okay, certain prima donna resources prefer to work by themselves rather than in the group. So prima donna, this one is like a solo singer. You know, in a band, they always have. Let's say you have 3 singers. There will be one main singer. We call it main singer. So that character is called prima donna. Prima donna actually is a name lah. Is a name for a singer or something. It's like the focus lah. I mean the stars for that. So they prefer to work by themselves, like Lone Ranger like that lah, John Wick or something like that. Okay, rather in the group they like to work alone one. Okay, so what do you do? So they are able to help you to achieve objective. To me is fine, but sometimes when we work alone, the information is missing sometimes. Not missing lah, but delay. Like we don't know what he's doing, right? So team building or this one sometimes for prima donna, what project manager suggests to do is that you just assign them the task that they can complete alone one. Let them do lah. Let them do. Morally, it is not recommended, but you sure have someone who like to work alone one, right? But they are so good, they are so good in that skill or that machine or that handling that kind of issue or source. So what you do, just let them do. Again, this one, it do not say that it will jeopardize or make your project fail. It's just that it's their own style, working style. They like to work alone, right? For example, some programmer, they like to do alone one. What you do is let them do alone, but you make sure the information is shared among the teams. Okay. Resources want their functional manager to bless their work before submitting it to the project manager. So it means this one, it just means that, okay, let's say you are the resources, you want to always let your work to check by your functional manager before they submit your work to the project manager. What do you do? This one, resources want their functional manager to bless their work. Bless their work means you see through, you check their work, have a okay, you can send, have a okay green light by their functional manager, then only they will go and see you. Yeah lah, okay lah. Okay lah. Here do not, this one actually is not the critical, not the big problem. It's not a big issue. As long as the project success means achieve time, achieve cost, meet customer scope, then okay. So this one is yeah lah. So you just let them be lah. It's also good one. At least someone help you to check, or someone as long as they happy lah. The team member happy. Okay, okay. This one. In which organizational structure will the project team encounter situation known as two boss syndromes? Matrix, why matrix? Okay, try to recap. If the question asks you similar like this, and then it continue, sketch the organization chart that might appear in this situation. Means he expect you to draw a matrix organization chart. Yeah. Number 6, number 6 also fill in the blank. Describe major responsibility of the project manager. This one is quite common lah. You go and see the PowerPoint slides. This one quite a lot. Okay. Maybe you guys can give me at least 4. What is the responsibility of project manager? Okay. You're assigned as a project manager. What do you think your job scope? Okay. Elaborate a little bit about the objective. Okay. Okay. Time frame. Budget. Okay. So you try to elaborate on the project schedule, elaborate on the budget, elaborate on the project planning. Explain duty and responsibility to the project team. It's quite a lot lah. This lah. So, of course, the question in the final or test won't ask you more than like 5 points lah. Okay, so you keep repeating the project success requirement. You only need to elaborate a little bit, expand what mean by project success. So make sure there is a project planning, there is a project budget, you prepare project budget. Not direct, direct means you give instruction, you don't do the thing. That's how you direct means you don't do, you can ask the finance department help you to do budget, but you don't do you don't go into Excel and key in the cost there. You're just a coordinator, you do integration. So direct preparation of time schedule, this one, you can let the planner do it for you. But if you don't have planner, you have to do. Okay, create organization chart for the projects. This one is the project organization chart. So previous question in chapter 3, you have product organization chart and project, this one. Explain duty, responsibility to the project team. This one normally in the first week or first day of the PMO meeting. You explain duties and responsibilities, expectation of project team and sponsor. Okay, it's important. So this kind of question, you start with who you deal with, and then what you deal with them. Okay. You have you have a project manager, you deal with functional manager, you deal with sponsor. Okay. So then this is customer. The customer need to complete by time, money, and scope. So your job here is to make sure everyone know their job, responsibility. Okay. Then you do resources planning and so on. Important is all the keyword. You integrate project manager. There are a few keyword there. It work with functional manager responsibility. You do integration. You integrate projects. Work across functional lines. So this is the word that always tie with the project manager. Relationship. This one is to do the job well between the project manager and functional manager. Monitoring, organization chart, and so on. Expectation. Expectation. Sources. Sources. Okay. All right. Number 7. Additional desire characteristic in question 1. So this one is question 1, the project manager quality. Must fulfill understand needs of member. Blah, 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 blah. To create an effective and motivate team, what information should the project manager communicate with the project team? Consider expectation of project should establish within the team of the start. So he asks you the information. Here, the expectation. What information that you need before you start the projects? We call it input lah. When you give briefing, okay, let's start this project. What do you need to tell the team? Start and end date. Dates, okay. Still, you use back the word expectation. Sponsor expectation. Okay. What else? Client or customers information. Okay. So this one, the question it asks you, what information should the project manager communicate with the project team? Means on the first day of the briefing, what information you expect to come out from the mouth of a project manager? Okay, so that one is the customer information or expectation or scope. What else? Resources needed. Okay. Status reporting. How you want the team to do the reporting. Okay. What are the assumptions that you make in the planning? What are the constraints that you have or limitation that you face, so that all the team member they know, okay, this is the current situation, what they lack of. So when you set all these limitation constraint, tell the whole team, then they know they need to share the resources already. Because from the start, you did tell them we don't have this, we only have such funding or this limited time, so we need to work together. Okay. And so on. So it's quite a long list. So all these are objective, contract requirement. This one is customer requirement, quality requirement. This one under customer requirement. Constraint is internal factor, constraint and assumption. When you do your this one, customers information is all within this one. All within this one. Customer spec, specification, product specification, and all this. Relationship or project to the organization objective. So tell the reason to the project team why you take these projects or why this project was launched. Is it because of the sponsor, he or she, the sponsor want to do something, want to build something? Okay. Status reporting, this one is more on the organization chart. How they're going to report to their boss and also to you. So is there any like weekly meeting, monthly meeting, or daily meetings? You set in the first few weeks, first week. Change management process. This one to me is additional, but is you can elaborate. And dates and sponsor expectation is important. Okay, so try to recycle the time, cost, customer requirement or scope in your answer. You won't go wrong one. Okay. Number 8, a team. Okay, okay. I think we with this question we will stop. A team will perform more effectively if project manager provide positive atmosphere. List the action a product manager may take to ensure he or she creates a positive team environment that will contribute to the development of high performing teams. This one is more like good team building. What do you have lah? It's like how you avoid conflicts and so on. Okay. What do you do? The keyword here is to have clarity or a clear job scope and responsibilities. Okay, there are a lot give you all but elaborate. I summarize all these have a clear job scope and responsibilities. So for example, avoid doing functional manager work. You don't overstep people work. Provide coaching. This one if you are the expert area, you do coaching to empower. This one the first one is very important answer. You have a clear defined roles and responsibility, and then you don't go and step into other people boundaries. You don't do other people work. You give recognize. You don't take credits. Work done by teams. And then this one, avoid aggressive control of team members. Avoid conflicts and so on. So again, the summarize the important point is the first one. Clearly define roles and responsibilities. Okay, the rest is elaboration of how you do it. Yeah. So if you see the question asks you to list the action, means you give example how you do it. Example 1, what you do. Example 2, what you do. Example 3, what you do. Okay. Okay, we have a issue of overstepping is that you project manager, you make decision for the functional manager sometimes. Okay, sometimes for example, the operator report to the production manager. You go do for the production line, you say, hey, you cannot do this one. You have to change the way you work this one. Cannot. What you do, you go to the production manager, say, hey, this process I think is wrong. Can you change the process flow so that you won't slow down the production? You don't go direct to that. And if you keep doing that, the functional manager also human, you will see why you talk to my guy. and then the guy change the work without your approval, so you're actually creating a very toxic environment. Okay. Leader always resist me one, always like, okay, want to say something, eject me one, want to work with me, then something is wrong already. Okay, okay, we have 10 minutes breaks. We continue 9:15. Okay, 9:15.